What's up, guys? Thanks for joining me on WellnessKE. Today I'm going to show you how you can prepare your very own rich, creamy sesame seed milk that's dairy-free, vegan, and has more calcium than regular cow's milk. Sesame seed milk is easy to prepare and you're only going to need 2 ingredients. That's sesame seed and a glass of water. So let's get to it. So we're going to need some sesame seeds. Make sure that you pour your sesame seeds into a bowl because we're going to do some soaking. It's important to soak your sesame seeds for about 6 to 8 hours because this is going to reduce oxalates and phytates or anti-nutrients that block the sesame seed nutrients from being absorbed into your body. So you can use 2 to 3 spoons of sesame seeds if you're making sesame seed milk for yourself. But if it's for the rest of your family, then you can add about 2 more spoons and have about 5 to 6 spoons of sesame seeds and add some water. So now we're going to add water into this bowl so that we can soak our seeds and make sure that we get the most out of this sesame seed milk. So now that everything is soaked well, make sure that you do a little bit of stirring, making sure that all the seeds are in contact with water. As I mentioned, we're actually going to leave this for at least 6 to 8 hours. I left mine for about 8.5 hours, which is good. But if you can be able to do an overnight soak, it's even better for you because you want to get the most out of these seeds. So 8.5 hours later, this is what we have. Make sure that you observe your seeds. You'll see that they look a little bit different. They're thicker. And now it's time for us to start blending. But I want to remind you, you can actually sieve these particular sesame seeds. Sieve them and wash them. Do a little bit of a rinse because it's also going to be beneficial for you. And once you've done that, add some water and pour into a blender. That's it. If you want some sweetened milk, this is the time you can add some dates or honey so that you can make sure that your milk has that sweet taste. So now we have everything inside the blender. It's time for us to start the process. It's very easy, very simple. Just turn the blender on, and as you keep observing, make sure that you check for the pulp, check for the thickness. You'll notice that it's going to start getting frothy and creamy, and this is going to be your very first batch. It's going to be creamier, but it's also more delicious, so make sure that you keep observing the blender. So let me walk you through the benefits of sesame seed milk. It's very high in calcium, more than regular cow's milk, as I mentioned, rather, and also very high in protein. Actually, sesame seeds contain the most amount of protein out of all the seeds, which is very beneficial for you if you want to try something plant-based and still get the most out of the sesame seeds. Sesame seeds are also very high in zinc, which is going to be very beneficial in boosting your immunity and also boosting your fertility in both men and women, especially improving prostate health. So make sure that you drink this milk with the rest of the family. Also, sesame seed milk is very high in copper, which is very essential because this is going to be helpful if you're trying to build red blood cells and have more iron. So make sure that you take sesame seed milk during your period or even after your period. So if you feel like it's a little bit thick, all you have to do is add some water into the blender and keep blending because we want to make sure that the pulp is a little bit lighter so that we have an easier time as we're pouring the milk into a jar. Sesame seed milk actually is going to be very beneficial for you if you're struggling with weight issues or you have PCOS or diabetes because it contains a compound known as pinoresinol, and this particular compound actually limits the activity of an enzyme known as maltase. And this enzyme is actually activated every time you eat refined carbohydrates like white bread or white pasta. So this is going to be very helpful if you're trying to balance your blood sugar levels. We always insist on balancing your blood sugar levels because this is going to be very helpful in fighting disease and maintaining a healthy weight. So now as we pour the milk into a jar, you're going to be using a spoon to just stir up the pulp so that you can get the most out of the milk. Make sure that you use a bigger sieve. This is going to actually take this process much faster. I noticed that mine took long because the sieve was a little bit smaller, but don't worry, if you have a bigger one, it's even better for you to use it. And keep stirring the pulp around so that you can get the most out of this milk. It's also important to mention this is going to be your very first batch, so it's going to be thick and creamy. You can also make a second batch using the same pulp, put it back into the blender and add some water and make a lighter sesame seed milk for yourself. Both of them are going to be highly nutritious and highly delicious. Let me mention the fact that sesame seed milk is going to be beneficial if you struggle with thyroid issues because it's rich in selenium, and selenium is needed in order for your thyroid to make thyroid hormones. So make sure that you drink sesame seed milk if you struggle with hyper or hypothyroidism. And there we have it. It was easy, it was simple, and you only needed 2 ingredients: water and sesame seeds. You can actually roast your sesame seeds in the beginning. I didn't do that, but it's actually advisable for you to roast them a little bit so that you can get the most out of the nutrients in the sesame seed milk. But here we have our very own homemade, rich and delicious sesame seed milk. You can actually use this in preparing smoothies. You can drink this as it is. You can also use this to make your juices. You can actually prepare a cup of tea or coffee with this. Sesame seed milk is very, very healthy for you. It does have a little bit of an aftertaste. That's why it's important for you to add some dates or a little bit of honey, some cinnamon to it so that you can be able to enjoy and get the most out of this delicious plant-based milk. Thank you so much guys for watching. Be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more videos.